please put your hands together for Monty Python.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad you're all here.
Well, I think for me, the moment was about 5 years ago when the idea came about doing a reunited show. And I was excited with...
Hey, all right. It's just chaos. Sit down. Sit down. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. You've come to bring some order to proceedings. Good afternoon.
We got a box.
Sorry. Yeah, gentlemen, this is...
We got a box.
You knew I was doing this. What's the story with this? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Get the little box for the big box.
Thank you very much. Hello. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Warwick Davis. I have the pleasure of overseeing this very special announcement from the Monty Python team. It's amazing looking across there and seeing them sitting there reunited on stage again. 5 legends sat there.
Get on with it.
Well, 6. And why wouldn't you, of course?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm here to talk about some news that leaked earlier this week, in fact. The news that they were indeed to reunite for a live show. And the response was amazing, wasn't it? From all over the place.
Incredible.
Absolutely amazing response. And then they had another dilemma, was where to do this show. And they felt the fairest way to decide was to actually ask cities that wanted the show to bid for it. And then cities did indeed bid for it from all over the world again. And then what would they do? They had so many bids, they had to enlist the help of Sepp Blatter to sort everything out. And I'll have the results of those bids right here in this envelope. I'm going to announce it now. But before I do, actually standing on this stage again, I was here just a few weeks ago performing in Spamalot. Which was an amazing experience and one that I enjoyed. And the journey to this stage started when I was just 11 years old.
Okay, here we go. That's the same. People are not getting...
Here's the announcement. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Gilliam. Thank you. Drum roll, please. City and the Heineken Hartwell hosting Monty Python Live reunion show is... Qatar! Oh, no.
Another one.
What do you mean another one?
Well, the second biggest bribe. Qatar. And what was the second biggest bribe? Yeah.
All right, then we'll do another one. Okay. Phew. It's very legitimate, isn't it? I happen to have another envelope right here. Okay, so here we go.
So it's more of a township than a city, isn't it?
Okay, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The second highest bid, and the city that will host the Monty Python Live reunion show is London!
Convenient.
Yes, indeed. The show will go to the O2 Arena on the 1st of July 2014. Tickets on sale at 10 a.m. on Monday, the 25th of November. You can go to find all details on montypythonlive.com. Tremendously exciting. And here's somebody now to celebrate the success of London. First, he had the Olympics, and now this. Please welcome Mr. Boris Johnson!
Coming through, out of the way, peasant.
Terrific. Right now, before we go over to you for questions, I've got a question for the team here. Who's going to play Carol Cleveland?
Maybe we should ask Carol Cleveland.
Yeah. Carol, who's going to play you?
Yeah, she can do it.
Here she is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Age 72, they want me to go on stage wearing a showgirl costume. Give me that job, so I said yes.
Very good. She's so much cheaper than the real thing. It's wonderful.
Well, that would certainly be worth the ticket price alone, I think. So here we go. It's now over to, ladies and gentlemen of the press out here. I'm going to hand over to you for questions. There are microphones on either side of the auditorium. Please raise your hand, wait till you get the mic, announce who you are and where you're from, not literally, which publication and which broadcaster, and then also who your question is directed to. Okay, yeah, that's it. So raise your hands and microphones will flow. You have it already. Over to you. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Celia. I come from Spain, Spanish national newspaper La Razón. And basically, it's a question for all of you. Yeah, why now? And please don't tell me it's because of the money. Thank you.
Nobody expected the Spanish Inquisition. Thank you.
I think the answer is we're all trying to pay for Terry Jones's mortgage.
Yeah. Terry's mortgage. Because we all live in his house. Fair enough.
Okay.
And actually, by the way, if we left it too long, it would be too late.
Yeah.
So we don't have that long, do we?
Yeah.
No, we don't, John.
About 60 years between us. Yeah.
I'm the oldest.
Now, what's your combined age, gentlemen? Somebody worked it out.
357.
Wow.
Yeah.
Phenomenal, isn't it?
3.5
And that's
centuries.
just...
And now Graham's the youngest.
Yeah.
Could you tell me right now? Could you tell me a very, maybe long sentence to the actual?
Well, longer sentence. Oh.
Porque las llamas son peligrosas. Si usted ve una llama donde hay gente nadando, usted grita, ¡Cuidado, llamas!
Thank you very much. Over here.
I don't know if this is working. Charlie Daggett of CBS News. A question for, well, I guess John Cleese. Is this a one and only, and what can we expect to see?
Well, at first it'll be the one and only. It depends how long people like Eric and Michael live, really. We just thought it'd be fun to try and do one and see if we were still funny, and that is our intention, just so far, just to do the O2. See if we can fill it.
Brilliant.
And what can we expect? More?
I think you can
Python?
expect a little comedy, a lot of pathos, some music, and a tiny bit of ancient sex.
And some cross-dressing. I think Mike's going to dress up.
Yeah, there'll be cross-dressing. Yeah.
Are you, Mike? Are you going to dress up in women's clothing?
Oh, yes, of course.
No, not you. Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Michael Palin on the end. Are you dressing up?
Crossrail dressing, are we talking about? Is that what we're talking about?
Crossrail dressing, I like that.
Okay, next question, please. Thank you, down here in the front.
Austrian television. You've got a huge fan base all over the world, including Little Austria. Any chance we get to see you guys in Europe if this O2 Arena show is a success?
Yes, it will be. It will be on television.
Isn't England in Europe?
No.
In Vienna,
Falls
for
Sie
example.
Ihren Apparat der Hoffnung eingeschaltet haben, die Sendung Albrecht Gröhl, sein Leben und Seite zu sehen, sonst muss ich Sie Leute enttäuschen. Oh, you show off, John. That's from the German show, 1972.
I think we should certainly think of touring the world, because I've done it for many years now. I've done 8 series. In fact, the books are still available. My favourite was Pole to Pole, North Pole to South Pole. But I've been through Austria and would like to go again.
Yes, I think we'd like to do Europe. I mean,
On a camping holiday, I think.
yeah,
You could combine it with skiing if you like.
yeah.
Yeah. Skiing?
Okay, next question, please, from the middle there, the lady with her hand there, yes. Do you have the microphone? Could you grab it so that everyone can hear your question? Sorry. It's on its way over to you. Oh, okay. There you go.
Hello, gentlemen. It's Charlie Girling from LBC 97.3. I would just like to ask all of you, who took the longest to convince?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Who took the longest to convince? I think it was Mike. Was it you?
Michael chickened out last time.
Yeah.
So he probably was the hardest work to get him to agree.
I was very busy. I was making a television series around the world. I think at the time it was called...
You're
Have you seen Michael's programs?
Actually, it
Those
happened
travel
really quickly.
programs he does.
Jim Beach suggested it, because we had a long and boring business meeting, and we've been avoiding business meetings for 15 years.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what you should do? You should just do a show at
I
O2.
think the thing
And
is, when we do get together for business, that's less enjoyable, but we do laugh. We do make each other laugh still. Actually, we quite enjoy getting together to be very silly. I didn't think it was possible to be silly over 70, but actually it's easier, I think, and very necessary. Would you agree?
Yes, we just laugh a lot when we're together, and we always have. I mean, we laugh more. I think when we have dinner together, we laugh more than we do at any other time of our lives.
And we get a heating allowance.
When we're separate, we don't really like each other, so it's very hard to get together. But then when we do, it's rather surprising that we may not like each other, but suddenly we're very funny together.
Yeah, we laugh at each other, which is really nice.
Fabulous. Question down here from a lady there. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Katie Razzle from Channel 4 News. You've mentioned your combined ages. I wondered, John Cleese, whether you're feeling a little too old to do the Ministry of Silly Walks, and if not, could you demonstrate now?
Well, I am too old for the Ministry of Silly Walks, yes. I have to say, in fact, I can do, with assistance, I can do, Silly Walker, and that helps me do it.
Will you show us?
But it's not that funny, so I probably won't be doing that on stage live this time. No, I won't. It's fair,
You
yeah.
don't look 74.
Okay, for the second row over there, gentlemen.
Hi, Mark Shenton, freelance. What are your ticket prices going to be, given that you want to raise a lot of money? And who's going to direct the show?
Well, I'm not.
Tickets prices. Eric's going to direct the show. And I think the ticket price is going to be £80.
I think the top price is
We're going to keep
90,
everything
right?
under
Top price is-
100,
it's like
and I think the
25
lowest
to
is
90 quid.
27. Sorry, go on, Eric.
Yeah, we want to keep the ticket prices low, and we're advertising it as only £300 cheaper than the Stones. And so we really are. We think we've set a ceiling at about 95. Phil McIntyre is the producer there, sitting in the front row, and he won't pay us any more.
The top price is 95, and it starts at 27.50.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're trying to make enough money so we can see the show from out front.
I have a gentleman back there, and then we'll go to you next. Thank you.
Hi, Vincent, BBC World Service Radio. How much of it's going to be what you might call greatest hits? And is there any new material?
Yes.
Yes.
There is some new material.
Yes, there will be.
Stitching together
Yes.
some oldies and...
Yeah.
It's a very difficult decision to take, because I remember going to the Royal Albert Hall and seeing Neil Diamond, where he got booed in the second half for singing new numbers. I mean, people really do want to see the old hits, but we don't want to do them exactly in a predictable way. So it's going to be a sort of a mix-up, I think.
And we'll be doing some material that we've never done live on stage before. We'll have quite a lot of that this time. So
None of Neil Diamond's new material will be in the show.
No, we shan't be using it.
I mean, you have to remember that in a rock concert, the most awful noise and the most awful thing you ever hear is now we'd like to play a few tracks from our new album.
Yeah.
That's when you go to the bathroom. So,
Well, we haven't really written anything for 40 years. So we're
yeah.
all right there.
We're hoping people have forgotten them, so they'll appear new.
Can we expect to see any of Terry's amazing animations on screen?
Yeah,
perhaps?
absolutely.
He's voting for that, so.
I'm going to do a whole bunch of animation.
Thank you,
pictures
Michael.
From my archive.
Yes. Yes.
That's going to be the low point of the show, but no.
But we're going to have dancers and singers standing in front of it, making it interesting.
Okay, down
No,
here.
no, sorry, the dancers and singers are in front of them when they're trying to perform the old material to make it interesting. So,
Okay, thank you.
Keir Simmons from NBC News. I think your last final show was in the States. So once you've done this final show, surely you should return to the States and do more shows.
That's far too logical.
Yes.
Far too logical. Sit down.
And also, if you're still open by then.
Yes.
Nothing controversial there too much, was
no,
it?
no, no,
I
no.
don't think so.
It was actually 1980, I think July 1980 at the Hollywood Bowl was the last time we performed live in the States. And here it was 40 years ago at Drury Lane, whatever year that was.
I think we're all a little tentative about performing in failed states, though, aren't we?
Not Austria.
Okay, there's a gentleman there, and then I'll go to the lady there.
Espen Aas, Norwegian Broadcasting. One down, 5 to go. Any thoughts of sort of the missing member on the show, and if anything about Parrish?
Yes, I think we'll miss Graham quite quite a lot.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
But we
He
will
will be
incorporate
there.
him.
He
He
will
will be
be
on
there on
screen. We'll
film.
be incorporating
Yeah.
him, you know, and remembering him and trying to perform with him even at one point. So yeah, he won't be absent from the evening.
At the
And
same
in
time,
fact,
it
we
is-
actually have told him we're going to be on, and if there is a God, he'll show up.
There will be medical teams standing by for the rest of the cast, though, because we don't want too many joining Graham yet until the show's over.
We have got another title, two down, 4 to go, just in case anything
My
goes
money's
wrong.
on between now and then. My money's on Jones to go next. I think.
I thought it was alphabetical.
I've seen your X-rays.
In your dreams, Gilliam.
There will be medical teams available, won't there, during the show?
Yeah,
For each of us.
I hope so, yeah.
Each got our own nurse.
Okay, the lady down here, thank you.
Hi, Hannah Fennes from The Telegraph. Your helpful press release here tells me that you're going to have a modern, topical, Python-esque twist on some of your old bits. Can you tell us a bit more about how you're going to update it for a modern audience? Are we going to see you twerking across the stage?
Yes, we will be twerking, absolutely. Or was that tweeting? I get confused. But one of the things we are going to do is we have Arlene Phillips, who's sitting in the front row here. We're going to have some singers and dancers. So we'll make a big show. It'll be like a huge musical. So we're aware that we have to make a big show at O2 and fill the stage. And so there will be lots of Gilliam sort of animated stuff. We'll try and make it as exciting and as funny as possible. That's what we're going to try.
Yeah.
Okay, the lady down here, thank you.
Hello, Nina Nanar from ITN. Can you all just sum up for us how you've all personally felt about how everyone has reacted just over the years? They've been waiting for you to get together, and now you have got together and the Twitter has gone mad and everybody's here and everyone's hyper excited. I mean, after all these years, that must feel really, really good.
I'm most surprised. I mean, I'm astonished, really. No,
Everybody thought Terry had been forgotten. Yeah, but Terry wasn't forgotten. He was always with us.
I think we were all surprised. We heard there were 25 camera crews coming along. We heard this just before lunch yesterday, and we began to feel very, very important. And then we were unable to get a reservation for lunch at any local restaurant, so that put us back in our place again.
No, I think it is pretty amazing, really. I mean, you don't know about this sort of thing till you sort of come up with it and see how people take it. And the general feeling seems that people like the fact we're going to get together again. They feel there's something they want to see, cheer them up. Someone said that cheer us up.
I was quite surprised on my Facebook page how people are madly pouring in messages, but from all over the world, places you didn't really realize that Python was known. That's been the big surprise for me.
Well,
there is nowhere in the world Python is not.
I think you've got a whole legion of new fans now, because I've introduced Monty Python to my kids who are 10 and 16 now. Annabelle, my daughter, who's 16, she used to watch it when she was about 6. And so I think your show is going to attract, a whole new generation of people who have grown up watching your television work and things, and I certainly think that...
My 4-year-old daughter watches the Holy Grail, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, all the time.
Yeah. You directed it. Forced her to do it.
Forced watching.
I think the clever thing was we waited till the demand died down.
Okay, gentleman there.
Quite canny.
You there, sir. Yeah. Have you got the microphone?
Adrian Bradley from Broadway World.
Oh, wow.
What are you most looking forward to doing on stage again? Is there anything particularly that you can't wait to do?
I'm looking forward to silly walks, watching John do that.
Yeah, that's impossible now because I have an artificial knee and an artificial hip, so there's no chance of doing that. But I don't know. There were several of the sketches I was very fond of. A Crunchy Frog we might well do. I suppose we'll do some version of the parrot, Mike.
The parrot, yeah.
I think
We've forgotten that.
Ring a bell.
Forgotten that, yeah. The Norwegian Blue, no, that's...
The main danger we have is that the audience know the scripts better than we do,
But I think there are some quite rambling things like Spanish Inquisition going all the way through, right through to comfy chairs and all that, the tortures. Doing all
We've
that
never
bit.
done
We've
that.
never
We've
done
never
that
done it
on stage. And I think that's
And also, I think some of the songs, some of the things appeared after we'd done the Hollywood Bowl. You know, they were in the meaning of life. So we were able to use some of that material which never have performed live. So that'll be fun, I think, as well.
Yeah.
I think the shocking thing may be, because Eric's trying to get me to be the nude organist, and that could be the really shocking element of the whole show. 73-year-old man with his butt hanging out.
You
not
may
a
get
pretty
arrested
sight.
on the first night.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow that Marty Scorsese.
Yeah.
Especially in the current atmosphere. The boys from U-Tree, maybe, they're in the front row waiting. Who knows? The men in U, as I call them.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
You there, sir. Yes, thank you.
Hi, Julian Drape from Australian Associated Press. I could understand you perhaps not wanting to go to the United States, but surely you'd like to take this show down under at some stage?
Oh, yes, of course. I love Australia.
The only problem with Australia is that there are planets closer than that. You know?
Well, there goes. Those ticket sales.
I'd like to play Darwin. It always gets left out. Australian tour. I'd like to play Darwin and Cooper Pedy. Cooper Pedy. Is that what it's
The
called?
Opera House is one of the finest places to play anyway. I've played there a couple of times. It's fabulous. So who knows?
At the back there on the left with your hand up. Yes, you're looking around there. Yes.
Tim Friend, Al Jazeera, English. My colleagues in Doha will be devastated that you're not taking the show to Qatar. I wonder, on a serious point, international TV here, why does the joke travel so well?
Well, I don't know. We'll find out.
I think because we're all the same ape. And we only have a certain range of emotions, and we only do a certain amount of things. We have all, husbands, wives, and there's only a limited quality of things that are human, and it's sort of general satire about humanity, and so it seems to travel. It goes to 98 countries, and then they translate it in their own way. So when the Japanese put it on in the late 80s, it went to #1 in Japan, and you wondered what they were seeing.
And it was called the Gay Boys Dragon Show in Japan.
That was the translation in Japanese.
So I think people do get what they want out of it. There's something that's not topical. A lot of it's physical. A lot of it's very silly, and I think that's kind of, it seems to be universal.
Yeah, I think silliness is always funny, really.
I think some of the characters that we used to do seem to be archetypes. That is to say, they seem to be recognized in a lot of different cultures for reasons that we don't understand.
And you do get to laugh at authoritarian figures, invariably pompous figures. And I think especially young people love that. I mean, that's what always amazes me when you see a 6 or 7-year-old kid watching it, and they get the joke because it's like laughing at their parents or their grandparents or all the people in their lives that are telling what to do and what not to do. And then you mix that with some stuff that's incredibly intelligent and almost academic, and then extreme silliness. No, that was a bit you were writing. You were just copying the thesaurus, remember? It introduced people to thesauri, if that's the plural of a thesaurus. That this parrot is deceased, no more, dead, and it was brilliant writing. And Roger never got the credit for it, did he?
Okay, and next question, please. Thank you, down here.
Hello, Jack Morvan from The Times. Did you, I imagine one of the reasons that this hasn't happened before is a sense that maybe you'd just be milking the old material. Have you had to overcome any sense of guilt about doing that now?
I think the cow died years ago. I mean, for the last time we milked it was 1980, and before that in England, 40 years ago. I mean, I think the fact is we sort of did it, for a while. We did live tours, and it was a lot of fun. We did Canada, we went up and down the UK, we did City Centre, we did the Hollywood Bowl. We sort of did it, at that sort of age and era.
And Hollywood Bowl, for me, one of the most enjoyable things I ever did.
Yeah.
And I think after you're 70, you can be absolutely shameless, as we're going to be.
But it's also, quite seriously, it's more than just a performance. It's not as though we're putting a show on in the West End, people coming along not knowing the script. What we discover is that people enjoy the event, they enjoy the experience. of being with us. And we, as I said, I never had so much fun as I had at the Hollywood Bowl. I love performing in the open air. And there was a wonderful sort of festival atmosphere. So it wasn't an ordinary performance. It was something extra, something different. And it's very strange because when I went on to do the Parrot Shop with Mickey, I remember when we did it in New York the first night, we got this cup final roar when we first went on and did the first couple of lines, and then we played the sketch to almost complete silence. And then when, at the end, we got another cup final roar. And when I came off, I said to one of the American stagehands, what is going on here? And he said, come and look. And we looked in the audience, and the audience were literally, you could see their lips moving as they were doing the material with us. So it's a completely different kind of show.
How did you look at the audience when they were mouthing to the script, to the sketch? How did you look through the...
Oh, they put a little bit of gauze in one of the curtains, so you can look through without being seen.
How were you
able to talk people out here? People here waiting to ask
This was
questions.
after I'd done the sketch, Terry. When I come, remember at the end of the sketch, you come off the stage.
Yeah. Sorry, we'll be with you in a minute.
Okay. Next question,
Where'd you get your jacket?
please. Who has the microphone now? I can't see it anywhere. In the centre there somewhere. It's being handed back. Thank you.
Ben Dowell, Radio Times. For people who are unable to get tickets, will it be filmed for a DVD release? And also, what's the likelihood of you ever going back to your old home on BBC television?
Well, ask the BBC about that.
Actually,
yeah, please.
the BBC do have rights to Monty Python. I think we have the rights to almost everything after our case against ABC Television in 1976. The BBC retained terrestrial rights in this country. But actually, it hasn't been on BBC Television, I don't think.
But they
for
have
about
the rights.
20
That's the
years.
important thing for them.
Yeah, they have the rights, yes. So
But we will be filming it, and we will, obviously try and flog it later.
Yeah, to any broadcasting organisation that's in the bid.
And I'm buying some tickets up in advance, so if you really can't get tickets and are willing to pay about 5 or 6 times the real price, just give me a buzz.
Yeah.
We can work out a deal, I'm sure.
I'll have a few too. So.
The problem with us is getting us all together in one room, and that's one of the reasons we can do a show like this, whereas if we were thinking of contemplating or doing a new film, we'd have to find out how to spend about 4 or 5 months scattered over a long period of time together, and that's virtually impossible these days. I mean, Terry, just tell them what your next 12 months are.
Well, sure.
Well, yeah.
How long do we have?
Exactly. It's kind of interesting.
That's the first thing we'll be doing, of course, is promoting the Zero Theorem. In February, it'll be released in March, starring Christoph Waltz, Tilda Swinton, Ben Whishaw, David Thewlis, and many others. And after that, we'll be doing Benvenuto Cellini at the end. By the autumn, we will be filming in the Canary Islands on The Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
Brilliant.
Thank you. And I'll be doing the show at the O2 with these gentlemen to my left.
Possibly.
So there's a lot of work around.
Thank you for the plug, Gil.
I've got a question, actually. Just a quick answer. When are you doing Time Bandits 2? I've been hanging on for this.
We're getting a bit old for it, I mean.
I am.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gilliam will be taking no more questions today. So next question, please. Over there, yes. Yes, you're looking around, it's you. Have you got the mic? Who's got the microphone now?
Yes, you got it.
Who's stolen it? Okay.
Ryan Butcher, GT. Just a quick question. You've obviously got a massive legacy behind you. Are you worried that you might mess it up, or you have a lot of angry fans coming after you afterwards?
Yeah, I'm very anxious. I'm biting my fingernails.
Yeah. We have actually read through some of the material, and it was really rather encouraging. We did laugh
It suddenly
a lot.
felt funny again.
So it may be just us who'll laugh at it, but it does seem to work when we play the sketches.
It's a very
actually rather
strange
nice to
thing
come
with
back
comedy material. You play it to a great audience and it feels funny. You play it to a dreadful audience. I mean, when we came out just now, it was the first time I've ever been on stage when no one in the stalls is looking at the stage. You know, it's a very that kind of thing can throw you.
But I think the whole staging of the show is going to be interesting, and that's something we've not done this kind of staging before. There's a lot more than you would have seen at Drury Lane, so that's going to be spectacular, and I think we kind of know that's going to hopefully work. Thank you,
Okay.
Arlene.
We're down to our last two questions now. Somebody around here with their hand up. Yes, have you got the microphone? Not sure where it is. Thank you. Ah, there, over there. Yes.
Hello, here's Catalan Public Radio. Well, in my country, if you ask for what is English humor, the first answer is Monty Python. Does it feel like a big responsibility or rather as a big pleasure?
I think it's kind of an amazement. I mean, I think nobody expected this show to go longer than the Sunday night on the BBC. We had certainly no expectations it would go hit in America. I mean, I think Canada was the first place to take it, and maybe Australia then. You sort of expected that, but the way it was greeted, I think, has been shocking. I mean, an amazement to all of us. And the fact that it still goes after 40 years is actually thoroughly astounding. And I think that we're genuinely modest about the reaction of the press and everybody. I wasn't modest at all, but they were very, very modest and actually genuinely surprised. I think they are actually very nice people.
People often ask us, you know, why it's liked in so many different cultures, and the answer is we don't know anything more about it than you do.
Okay, our last question now. Who has the microphone? Because that's,
Hello.
you have it here, do you?
Hi, hello. Dominic Cavendish from the Daily Telegraph. Honoured to be here. I just wondered, in the intervening years after Python stopped performing live, have you had ideas that you kind of filed away thinking if only Python was still going we could create another sketch? I just wondered how much material there's been, in a sense, amassing maybe almost privately.
I don't think there's a huge amount of material. We did write a lot of material for our last film, The Meaning of Life. But otherwise, whenever we get together, there are ideas, you know, for...
No, I may have misheard the question, but I think sometimes I think of ideas for sketches, but I don't write them because I don't have anywhere to do them.
There was an idea for a film, wasn't there? There was an idea for a follow-up to, what was it, Holy Grail?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Crusades.
The Crusades, yeah.
Remember that?
World War III.
We were all going to play Crusaders who got diverted on the way to the Holy Land. Probably couldn't call it that now. Anyway, I'm going to do it next year along with publication of my diary.
Right, well, thank you very much for your questions. Just to remind you of the date and venue, London O2 Arena, 1st of July 2014. Tickets go on sale at 10 a.m. on Monday, the 25th of November. Details on montypythonlive.com. If you've been assigned an interview, please make your way to the foyer after the press conference. But all that remains for me to do is to ask you to put your hands together and thank the Monty Python team.